everybody. Today is election day, and I have not been out to vote yet. It's raining. I will go later at the last minute and do my part to add to the election reporting confusion. If you've been in our Sunday school class long enough, you'll remember we went through the book of Ezekiel back not too long ago. And one of the things God does for Ezekiel in that book is he appoints him as what he calls a watchman. A watchman is like a spiritual lookout to warn the people of dangers that are coming on the nation. He warns them that they are plunder for other nations. And even though this election season we're not worried too much about other nations trying to plunder us, I will say that there are plenty of others who would like to plunder you and to plunder the flock of God. Regardless of who wins the election today, and I'm sure if you are watching a video by a Sunday school teacher that you are involved enough in church life to have been reminded time and time again this election season not to place your trust in a candidate or in a political party. So I won't say too much more about that. But I will remind you of why that's important. We have promises in God that are beyond what any political party or candidate can provide or even promise us. God says to Ezekiel to be this spiritual lookout for the nation. And even though we are not Ezekiel, we have the promise of God's provision and God's protection as well. But he says to them in Ezekiel chapter 34 that he will seek his sheep, that God will care for them, God will deliver them, God will shepherd them, cause them to lie down on good grazing ground. He says, I will shepherd my flock, I will search for the lost, I will bring back the scattered, I will bind up the broken and strengthen the sick. And then he says in verse 18, is it too slight a thing for you that you should be shepherded in good pasture, that you would trample down with your feet your other pastures? In other words, is the promise of God and what he has in store for us not good enough for us? Why do we look to find satisfaction and nourishment in places other than what God provides for us? He shepherds us to good pasture. That's why it's important not to place our trust in candidates or in political parties, even though those are important things to weigh and to act on with your voting. But when we place our hope in those things, we are telling God that his shepherding for us is too slight a thing. So turn to him, trust in him. This Sunday, we will be in Matthew chapter 7. We're quickly coming to the end of our Sermon on the Mount. We'll be looking at the tree and good fruit and bad fruit and how we will know them by their fruits. So I hope to see you there this Sunday. I'm glad Bernie was quiet for us today. I'll see you later. Bye.